Hello everybody, I'm Storm here. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online Shadowbringers. In the last episode, we kind of got caught up with Thancred about what is happening in Garlemald, about how the city itself is severely devastated, but they appear to be doing something to the Imperial Palace. We don't know quite what yet. Magitech in nature. We also had a meeting to kind of go over what the situation is and what we know about the towers so far, and the fact that the towers are tempering people in some way, shape, or form. Though the Porksy method of curing that issue is working to correct that. Arenvald and Fordola are going to go and work on that particular project because they both have the Echo, so they should be resistant to any form of tempering. And, yeah, we'll see how that goes. And then we are going to go on to investigate the Lunar Bahamut creature that Van Daniel has command of. And to that end, we track down Mastinian in Ishgard, and we have then flown over here using our airship, the Bonanza, to Azizla to have a chat with Tiamat about what this might actually be. See what information we can find. Alright, so that's kind of where we're at the moment. Oh yeah, and the hilarious confusion of Estinian who thought Alice was Alphino. That was great. But yeah, let's go ahead and get to it. Let's talk to Alphino and see what we're going to do here. It's been quite some time since I last set foot in Azizla, but I understand the three of you were here rather more recently. I don't suppose you chanced to meet with Tiamat during your visit? No, we did not. Alas, not. We had no cause to set foot here in the Delta Quadrant, but I have studied the relevant records, which is not to say I wouldn't appreciate a first-hand account of your dealings with her. Well then, Ayame is the person to ask. As far as I know, she's the only one of us to have met Tiamat face to face. Even now she remains prisoner of the Allegan Empire, right? Ever since the end of the war with Meracidia, yes. They've been held captive for so long. I too have met with Tiamat. Oh? After the Dragonsong War came to a close, I came here to speak with her, a worm who had fought her own war against man in another age. I wished to know if she yet harbored thoughts of vengeance and asked as much. She said no. My hatred for your kind was extinguished long ago. But the guilt she feels for resurrecting Bahamut burns on undimmed. It torments her, even now. I see. Then your original reason for coming here was out of concern that Tiamat had been forced to summon Bahamut? Needhogg is a part of me. I feel his emotions as my own, and I know that he would not allow his sister to be made a tool of evil. In his absence, it falls to me to watch over her. Alright, here be dragons. Indeed. I'll grab those silver... Actually, do I want anything? Pizza. Ooh. Mist spinach quiche. Interesting. And Twilight Popoto salad. I think the quiche actually is not bad. Skill speed, vit, direct hit rate. Using choice ingredients such as mist spinach and mozzarella, this variation of spinach quiche satisfies even the fussiest gourmand. I'll take the quiche, why not? Just have to remember to actually use it in a dungeon. Alright, Mastinian. Tiamat awaits. This way. Alright then. How appropriate that my Mount Roulette summoned Midgard's armor. Assume the giant pile of people is where we're going. And there's gotta be something in here. A destination or some... There it is. Thankfully, no one's standing on top of it. My sire's mortal companion, what bringeth thee back to this forsaken place, child of man?
It's plain she knows naught of recent events. Perhaps you should enlighten her.
Alright, I guess we'll give her the rundown. Ah, then my sins should be repeated. I sensed not the faintest stirring. As to who could have called him forth, I know of none save the dragons of Eorzea, our children. The icon claimed their souls when he first manifested, and robbed of their will, they became tools for the Allagan's dark designs.
Much like those held here in Asisla. If dragons who worship Bahamut are required to summon him, that must mean...
Yes, the dragons of Eorzea are at the mercy of this Ascian. There can be no other explanation. Accursed Ascians, vile minions of the darkness. Okay. Again, you would profane the memory of my beloved and strip our children of their freedom, their dignity. Are there no depths to which you will not stoop?
Your children's pain means nothing to them. They laugh at your kind suffering. But tears will not right this wrong, nor will lamentation see the perpetrators punished.
What wouldst thou have from me, slayer of dragons?
Behavior befitting a great worm. We came here to ask mighty Tiamat of the First Brood, consort of Bahamut, mother of the dragons of Eorzea, what she intends to do about the crimes committed against her children.
Santalan infan antosk. Kaush lent an.
Were I free, would answer thine insolence with fire, but word shall have to suffice.
Ale o esk an in. Ale kum ak in.
Recall, mortals, that it was I who did first summon my beloved, praying with all my being to bring him forth. You who contend with icons cannot well be ignorant of the consequence.
You too were exposed to his influence. That you are yet in possession of your own will is testament to the indomitable strength of your soul. But were you to meet with Bahamut again, you fear you might succumb.
Es snoska dramon kin. Nestra in. Illes I. Nesh an. And ala.
Indeed, ask the Dragon Slayer, and he will tell thee the power we of the first brood wield. Were I to lose myself to the Icon's influence, all would pay the price.
Unnik. Nalstra ul an. Antal an. Smon. Tahi an.
Well... but it is of little matter, for even had I the strength to resist, I yet lack the strength to break my shackles. This prison shall be my tomb.
On the matter of Bahamut's influence, at least, I believe we can be of some assistance.
Exactly.
If you're afraid of being enthralled, don't be. We have a cure. And while we've never tried it on one such as you, its basic principles are universal.
Usk she's in.
Speakest thou in earnest? And how much ether would it take?
There is no future for those bound to the past. That you committed a terrible sin, I do not dispute. But if you feel remorse, you may yet make amends. We offer you that chance. Take it, or you will forever remain a prisoner, not of these cruel shackles, but of your own guilt.
Sahaan. Seth so. Kin Bahamut an.
A chance to make amends, to lay Bahamut's memory to rest.
An sumon. Na an inles. Snaloles dish an. Na ala an ul an sin an. Stan in.
When our own star faced annihilation, Hydaelyn granted us sanctuary, and now your foes would bring about her destruction? This I cannot allow. For the debt I owe Hydaelyn, and to all who have suffered for my sins, I shall fight with you, children of man. Right, because the dragons are actually not from this world. Alright. So how are we going to do this? While Porxies have been shown to be effective in curing the tempered, Tiamat must be considered a special case. She is far, far larger and immeasurably more powerful than any subject treated thus far. Were we to remove her restraints only to find that the process had failed, we would be hard-pressed to contain her. Then, before going ahead, we should learn as much as we can about the exact nature of her condition. Do you suppose we can find that information here? Well, yes, we can. We can indeed. The Elegans kept detailed records on all of their notable captives, and I know exactly where to look. Excellent. We shall leave that to you then. In the meantime, the rest of us can turn our thoughts to the removal of those shackles. I'm sure there must be a way to turn them off. I know Alphino and Ayame here well enough, but not you. Are you certain you're ready to see this through? Rohatia. Rest assured, Sir Estinian, that I am both ready and willing to give my all for the sake of this star, though that is not my only reason for wanting to set Tiamat free. While I do not claim to know all of her sorrows, I too once found myself in a prison of despair, and I well understand how hard it can be to dare to dream of escape. It took the encouragement of braver souls than I am to make me take that first step towards a brighter future, and now I would help Tiamat do the same. I gather you are not as young as you look. Mayhap when our work here is done, we could trade tales over a pot of Tataru's famous tea? And be indebted to her for the leaves and hot water? I think not. I see. Returning swiftly to the task at hand, then. I believe the nodes governing Tiamat's restraints are located in the sector known as the Flagship. Oh yes, we are familiar with it. The Aetherochemical Research Facility in particular. Oh, you may wish to take this, a spirit vessel containing a small amount of my blood. Which you just happen to be carrying around with you? I suppose that could seem rather odd. To explain, Rambrose, Eorzea, and I are researching the use of spirit vessels and the transference not only of memories, but of the traits of certain bloodlines, and so I keep one at the ready should an opportunity to test our theories arise. As for its use to you, you may recall that during our previous visit, the nodes here granted access to restricted functions, having identified me as being of royal blood, and armed with that spirit vessel, I posit that they will do the same for you. Even in the absence of, well, the rest of me. It seemed worth a try, at least. Good idea. Agreed. We will take good care of it. To the flagship, then. Alright, to the flagship. Alright, so where are we? Oh, right here. Let us split up and search the flagship for the node that controls Tiamat's restraints. But should you find a likely candidate, do not be tempted to make any adjustments. It would not do to accidentally release some manner of experimental monstrosity, or thus Tiamat herself in her current state. Our objective at this stage is simply to identify the relevant node or nodes. Once we have learned what we can, we should reconvene, and compare notes prior to proceeding. Correct. There is an... What is that word? Obstreperous node? That's a new one. Data link with Delta Quadrant broken. Possible cause intruder interference. Advised deployment of automated combat units. Proceed? No. Let's not proceed with that. All right. There is a malodorous node. It smells funny? Friction between metallic components detected. Temperature increasing to critical levels. Please replace damaged parts or retreat to a safe distance. Oh, that's why it's malodorous. It's about to burn up. Where is the next one? There it is. A clamorous node. So it's making a lot of noise. Blip bloop. Warning, scheduled dragon restraint maintenance due in negative 2020 years. Failure to verify system integrity may result in unscheduled specimen release. Okay, I think we may have found what we're looking for. I'm afraid Estine and I have little to show for our efforts. Did you find anything? Why, yes, I did. A node which smelled like burnt hair. Yes, a chirping node which spontaneously warned me about neglecting the dragon restraints. I found a way to activate mechanical sentries, if that's any help. Yeah, this is the one we're looking for. Spontaneously, you say? Well, that does sound promising. Almost suspiciously so, in fact. But then you were in possession of the spirit vessel. I dare say it is indeed the node of which Grahat spoke. And it was chirruping, you say? Very well, let us take a closer look. Alright, use the field trial spirit vessel to access the clamorous node. Blip. Do you wish to operate the dragon restraint mechanisms? Blip bloop. Yep. Do not have the requisite access privileges. Operation of the dragon restraint mechanisms may only be undertaken by the chief technologist and members of the royal family. Well, we happen to have those of the vessel of royal blood, perhaps. Well, let's show it the vessel of royal blood. New user detected. Commencing biometric authentication. Authentication complete. User identified as member of the royal family. Please state your name. I'll go with my own name. Ayame Yatsurugi. Welcome, Ayame Yatsurugi. You may operate the dragon restraint mechanisms when ready. Error. Unable to disengage restraints of the specimen Tiamat. A system update is required. Of course it is. A system update? What do you suppose is asking us? Can't do anything without updating. Smash it to pieces. I could hazard a guess. Well, that's more than I can say. Confounded bloody thing. User agitation detected. Initiating guidance program. In order to operate the restraint mechanism, I require access to the central control system. However, I am unable to establish a link to said system due to the obsolescence of my own software. The issue can be resolved by applying a system update using the corresponding terminal located within the flagship. So can this thing release the restraints or not? It can, but only once it has received the requisite system update, as far as I can tell. Until which time it'll float there spewing nonsense. User dissatisfaction detected. Initiating placation protocols. I'm here to help. Rest assured that I will be on hand to guide you through every step of the system update process. How gratifying, but I dare say we will fare better with guidance than without. Righteous indignation. All right. Let's see how do we update the system? The restrainment node stands poised to lend a hand, figuratively speaking. All right. Guiding user to terminal. This way, please. Alright, I guess we follow. Oop. Well, it's down below over here somewhere. Ah, here. There's our terminal. Let's see, according to the terminal, the central control system is presently employing software version 56.135. Dare I ask which version you are employing? Software version 42.002, of course. Warning, errors detected in the data management system. Estimated time required for update, 5 years, 1 day. What? That is rather longer than we were hoping. Aren't there any other options? For instance, using this terminal to operate Tiamat's restraints instead? The proposed method is indeed an option. Please be warned, however, that the procedure may have changed as a result of the system update, and my instructions may no longer be accurate. Well, I can't imagine it will have changed all that much. As long as we pay due attention to any discrepancies, I dare say we shall be able to muddle our way through. Don't bother trying to explain, just tell me if we made any progress. I would say so, yes, it does. However, require that I remain here to operate the terminal. I shall inform you via link pearl once I am ready to release the shackles. It might be best if you left the spirit vessel with me. I may yet have use for it. Rest assured, I will be certain to return it to Grahatia once this is over. Just a little more work and Tiamat will be free. Well, before we go any further, there is something I would know. When Tiamat and her kin fought against the Algan Empire, both sides were but dancing to the tune of the Ascians. And it was the same in Ishgard, where they stoked the fires of conflict between man and dragon from the shadows. All that the Ascians touch turns to ash, and thus have you made it your mission to fight them. But there have been times when you tried to reach out to them instead, to find common ground. And so I must ask, what do you intend to do with Fandaniel? Will you try and reach out to him too? I'm not sure we can. Certainly after I've wiped the smile off his face. We'll go with that one. I'd rather put my lance through his heart and be done with it. But perhaps that's the difference between you and me. You see the good in people, even if it be but the faintest glimmer. I only hope you do not come to rue your benevolence. You think us unwise for viewing the world thus? Far from it. That has ever been your way, as I learned when we journeyed together with Iceheart. Yet the fact remains that there are some who view compassion as a weakness to be exploited, and there may come a time when you extend the hand of friendship only to wish that you had dealt the killing blow. So, save your mercy for those who deserve it. Yes, we just don't know enough about Fandaniel other than things he's told us, which is not exactly the most reliable source of information. Well, we should be getting back to our task. If Alphino has things in hand, here I suggest we rejoin the others. Alright, I guess we're heading back over to Tiamat. I guess I'll pause during the flight and I'll be back once we're there. Okay, so we are here. Go ahead and talk to Alice. Estinian told me all is well, but nothing more. Honestly, it's like getting blood out of a stone with him. I take it from Alphino's absence that he's needed elsewhere? Yep, he's got control of the situation as best as he can. Well, it all sounds rather frustrating, but you got there in the end. While you were off talking to nodes, Graha and I were learning as much as we could about Tiamat's condition. Our readings confirmed that her ethereal balance leaned strongly toward the umbral, as was the case with the kobolds. Therefore, all other things being equal, the treatment should work. The difficulty lies in the sheer quantity of ether with which we must contend. Multiple applications of the treatment will invariably be required if we are to reverse the effects of the tempering completely. Meaning I'll need all the ether I can get. Thank you in advance. Although this endeavor will ask much of us, we do have one reason to be optimistic. Namely, that Tiamat shows no signs of fanatical devotion, suggesting a milder case of tempering than that suffered by the kobolds. It's just the sheer volume of what we gotta deal with. Tiamat saw Bahamut as an equal rather than a god. Might that have made a difference? Now that you mention it, it very well might. She would not have believed it necessary to defer to his will. Enough talk. It's time to put our theories to the proof. Tell Alphino to disengage the restraints, ethereal dampeners. I'm counting on you, Angelo. Ah, such warmth. The frost that shroudeth my soul doth begin to thaw. But what are these? Visions of days long forgotten, of war with the men of Allag? Wherefore do such baleful memories return to me now? Could it be that the process of restoring her soul to its pre-tempered state is awakening ancient memories? Or might the opposite be true? If so, by helping her to recall the past, we may be able to speed her recovery. Yame, she trusts you. Speak to her. Ask her to tell you of times past. Tell me of your war with the men of Allag. Wicked, bloodthirsty creatures. Not content with their own lands, they brought fire and death to Eorzea, our home. The tale began when Bahamut and I left our father's side. We took wing in search of a place to make our eyrie. Beyond the southern ocean, we discovered a lush and fertile land. It would come to be known as Eorzea by the children of men, though many years were to pass before they crossed the seas. Upon our arrival, we were welcomed by the peaceful people of the forest, kin to the trees. Surrounded by nature's bounty, Bahamut and I had found a place to raise our young. Fascinating. This correlates with the writings of the Charlian scholar Rurusha. He posits that man first settled on the southern continent toward the end of the Second Astral Era. Correctly, it would appear. If only she were here with us to hear the tale from Tiamat herself. Again, Angelo. When the first children of man arrived on our shores, no foot did they set in those places over which we held dominion. Such was their fear of dragonkind, and as they kept their distance, so did we let them be. Yet as the days went by, ship after ship appeared upon the horizon, bearing ever more of their brethren, who divided the vast land amongst themselves. For a time they knew peace and prosperity, but as their numbers grew, the smaller their share came to seem, and soon they began to covet the territory of their fellows. Ere long, man fought man, blood was answered with blood, and none could see an end to the strife until one day they came to us. Recognizing our wisdom, they entreated us to intercede in their conflicts. Bahamut agreed, and with him presiding over the affairs of men, the land knew peace once more. Alas, those golden days of harmony too were fated to end, for the men of Alag slew my beloved, and I, in my rage and sorrow, heeded the envenomed words of the Ascians. The rest thou knowest only too well. But your tale doesn't have to end there. When you are free, we'll rid the world of the Ascians together, and you and your beloved will have justice. Fine sentiments, but you're almost spent. I'll keep watch from above. If the treatment fails, run. Thanks for the vote of confidence. I swear, when this is over... Keep going, I say. The magic is working. Alright. Well, that's the next one here. While I knew this wasn't going to be easy, no patient could have prepared me for treating a great worm. But we're close, I can feel it, and while I've only got a few more drops of ether left to give, with yours and Graha's, this will work. And I believe I speak for both of us when I say that you may take as much as you require. Careful, I might hold you to that. Alright, here I go. Alright, do we need more juice?
Ugh, no. I'm almost there. This is it, Angelo.
Es lies an, mich es die.
Yes, I feel it. The icon's grip groweth weak.
Did it work?
We won't know for certain until the shackles are removed.
Alright, let's let her go.
Task in Santal Ankin in way.
Answer me this, children of man. Can my kindred be saved in like manner? I don't see why not.
Many have been subjected to the Allagan's dark arts, their flesh irrevocably altered. For such tortured souls, I fear there can be no salvation.
Ankin.
My children.
Slosk an ol fol kail an. Slosk seth som in an.
Should you hearken unto my call, we shall fly together once more. But should you not, I shall grant you peace.
Afaten. Mon ud. One ein.
But-
Lis an.
Better to die than to live as a tool of evil. You too would wish this, I know, and I shall do as I must.
When that time comes, you won't be alone. We'll stand by you.
She's in an enemy.
Thou hast my gratitude, little one.
Alphino's ready. It's time. Do it. And let's hope the treatment worked as it should.
Alright. She's loose. Bahamut, my beloved.
Ul-Jas. Ul-Asa. Fesk.
For vengeance and atonement I rise.
By the gods!
Eorzea, your timing could not be better. Understood, we're on our way. It's Bahamut. He's been sighted over Pagalthan.
Of course.
He flies for the largest Amalja settlement in the region, at the head of a vast host, including dragons.
Alright. Well, here we go.
Did you hear all that, Alphino? You'd best rejoin your comrades. I'll make my own way. Our enemy awaits. Shall we?
Alright then. Alright, well, I'm sure you're desperate to join Estinian and Tiamat in battle. 'Twould be wiser to gather the full strength of the Scions first. The foe we face demands no less. Alright, anything in here that I want? Oh, smoked chicken. That sounds good. Spell speed and piety. Tenacity, wit, and determination. Critical hit. I guess I'll take the smoked chicken. Alright, the Flames War. With Lunar Bahamut bound for Pagalthan, Grahatia is determined to call upon the aid of your fellow Scions. Yes. Running this one a little bit long, but that's alright. I have already sent word to the others. We are to rendezvous in Ul'dah at the Hall of Flames. Let's collect Alphino and be on our way. Alright then. Well, I think this is where we'll go ahead and end the episode. Unless there's a cutscene here. No, but it pushed us all the way to Ul'dah. Alright, yeah. And this is a good spot. We'll go ahead and end the episode here. And then we'll see what's going on with Pagalthan. And, see what we're gonna do, because that's where, Arenvald and Fordola went. So, we'll need to see how they're doing. Alright, so for now, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.